Breaking news. The ceasefire between Iran and Israel has been violated. Or was it never truly in place to begin with? Just hours after President Trump declared an official ceasefire, Iran launched missiles at a U.S. military base in the Gulf, reigniting fears of full-scale war. How did this happen? Was the ceasefire ever real? And what's next for the Middle East, U.S. foreign policy, and global security? Ceasefire declared, but reality says otherwise. On June 24, 2025, President Trump took to social media with a bold announcement: the ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. The message came after nearly 2 weeks of airstrikes, missile barrages, and military escalation between Iran and Israel, with the U.S. playing a direct role. But just before the ceasefire, and possibly undermining its credibility, the United States had carried out its most aggressive operation yet. On June 21st, the U.S. Air Force unleashed Operation Midnight Hammer. 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers flew non-stop from U.S. bases to Iran. Using bunker-buster GBU-57 bombs, they targeted Iran's most secure nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Over 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles accompanied the raid, with Pentagon officials confirming the goal was to obliterate Iran's nuclear enrichment capabilities. President Trump declared the mission a spectacular success, claiming the strike set back Iran's nuclear ambitions by years, but Iran vowed retaliation, and they followed through. On June 23rd, less than 24 hours before Trump's ceasefire tweet, Iran fired a barrage of 12 to 14 ballistic missiles at the Al Udeid air base in Qatar, home to U.S. forces. All missiles were intercepted by Qatar's air defense systems. No casualties, no significant damage, but Iran's state media celebrated the strike as a mighty and successful response to the U.S. aggression. The timeline raises major questions. Did Iran's strike occur before the ceasefire truly began? Or was this Iran's way of rejecting the ceasefire terms altogether? While President Trump insisted no Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done, the symbolic nature of Iran's attack sent a clear message: they're not backing down quietly. This latest round of violence is just the tip of the iceberg in a decades-long geopolitical battle. 1979, Iran's Islamic Revolution brands Israel an enemy state. Proxy wars ignite across the Middle East, with Iran backing groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. Israel retaliates with covert operations and airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear infrastructure. The U.S. plays both enforcer and negotiator, caught between preventing nuclear escalation and avoiding full-scale war. Fast forward to 2025, and those tensions exploded into the open once again. Despite Trump's ceasefire declaration, experts warn Israel achieved temporary military goals, but the threat of Iran's nuclear program remains. Iran demonstrated regional missile capabilities, signaling defiance. The United States flexed military muscle, but risks deeper entanglement if hostilities reignite. The reality? The so-called ceasefire may be less a peace agreement and more a tactical pause, with both sides repositioning for the next confrontation. Here's what to watch for. Will Iran rebuild its nuclear facilities damaged in the U.S. strikes? Can Israel tolerate any Iranian enrichment activity? Will the U.S. be drawn into further direct conflict if Iran retaliates again? With Iran's missile strike on U.S. forces, the credibility of the ceasefire is already in doubt. Was this ceasefire ever real, or was it violated before it even began? We want to hear your take. Is this a step toward peace, or just a temporary smokescreen before the next escalation? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion matters. Thanks for watching. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay ready for what comes next.